So it's a big topic with manifestation. I say it's a big topic because it's a topic that your ego wants to get involved in. You know, I'm talking about manifestation. I'm talking about the one manifesting. And at the moment I start to speak about that, the ego gets involved immediately, because it's a very interesting conversation for the ego, because it can manifest more of its identities. It can manifest more positive and negative charges. But the thing is, the ego can't use this. It thinks it's using it, but it's not. So before we even start to open up and dissect and have this conversation of manifestation, what I want to do is I want to throw out to the group to have a discussion of what, the only word I can find is, what is the characteristics of the one manifesting, and what is the characteristics of the ego manifesting. What I'm trying to get you to realize, or what I'm trying to get you to identify with, is when the ego is coming through and looking to manifest. Because we can talk about manifesting right now. You can walk out of this room and then your ego will be just coming out trying to manifest. It doesn't work. And even if it does work, like, because you created it in a limited way, and you created it to experience lack. So there's no use talking about a manifestation until we first talk about the difference between the one manifesting and the ego attempting to use manifestation. Because we know the more conscious you become, the more your ego uses, the ego doesn't become conscious, but the more the ego uses the same words and goes, oh, I can manifest this. Okay? It's very simple when it's the one manifesting versus the ego manifesting. Let's why don't we start with the ego first. How do you know when it's the ego manifesting? It needs to manifest it. Oh, but I know that sounds simple, but I just want you to really think about that and really feel why that's true. It needs to manifest it. Well, why don't we come back to that in a moment. Let's look at an infinite being. When something's an infinite being and it's manifesting, how do you know it's the infinite being manifesting? How do you know it's the one manifesting? What's different? The ego needs to manifest. The one, or something that's infinite, doesn't need it. But why? Because it's already there. Because it already has it. Just like when you go to that energy, in that moment, when you're present, and I ask the question, what really matters? Nothing. It's not like nothing comes up. I would love to do this. I would love to be there. It's just like nothing. And you don't want to, and if I ask you one more question that says, is there anywhere you would like to be? You would say, no, I don't want to leave here. Nothing matters. So just go back into your life and look at all the things you're trying to manifest and just see who's manifesting. You see, the one or the infinite doesn't need to manifest it. It doesn't require it. But this is very confusing for the human, as we analyze this, it's very confusing. Because you're probably thinking, well, if it doesn't need to manifest, then
what are we talking about?
Exactly. Why are we talking about it? Or why are we trying to manifest anything? Let's not even talk about manifesting, because you don't need to manifest anything. Why are you talking, Amir, about manifestation? Because we only know we only know need. We're driven by need. Well, I'm talking about the ego. Need. And when you take need away, it's almost like it's alien. Well, what now? The best way for me to describe this to you is to remind you of what we talk about in the WTF program when I give the example of two people being in a relationship. And I said usually a human-made relationship is driven by need. The person needs to be with the other person because that person is loving the part of themselves they haven't yet loved. So when they are loving the part of themselves they haven't loved, they feel loved. So then they don't love the other person, they need them to love that part of themselves. Remember we talked about that? Who knows what I'm talking about? Okay. But then I say, if an individual then goes and loves the part of themselves they haven't yet loved, they will no longer need to find someone else, or to buy those shoes, or to buy that car, or to get more money, or whatever it is, okay, that represents love. They don't need to go and find, I'll keep this example with relationships, they don't need to go and find someone else to love the part of themselves they haven't yet loved. You remember that? Okay? So then the question goes, well, hang on a sec. If you no longer need to find someone to love the part of you that you haven't yet loved, then you no longer need to be in a relationship. Right? And always someone in the program goes, well, hang on. Well, why would you be in a relationship if you don't need to be in one? Because you love to. You see, the moment you take need away, because we're so consumed in, it's our addiction to do what we need to do, when I say you don't need to manifest, well, it's like, well, why talk about anything then? There's nothing to talk about. In the moment that you no longer need to manifest, that's when you can manifest. And that's when you can manifest what you love. And that's when you can manifest out of love, for love, into love. Need is moved aside. Do you see that? It's the same example. Is this dropping in for you guys? So the biggest illusion is you look at your life, something's not whole, something's not complete, and then you go, I need to manifest. But you're doing that out of need. And that's the ego. Need comes from fear. Fear is a different version of love. It's a different manifestation of love. And in the manifestation of fear, its role is to be limited. Its role is to be finite. So whatever it manifests, it will give you a finite, limited experience. And doesn't matter how much money you manifest out of fear or out of need, you will still feel limited. Doesn't matter how many relationships or how successful your relationship may seem, you will still feel limited in that relationship. Doesn't matter how big your home is, how big your career is, how big your profile in the community is, you will still feel limited. Because when you do something from need, it's designed to give you a limited feeling. It's not a good or bad thing. Fear is just a different color of the same rainbow of love. It's the same thing. Just fear, love, manifests itself into fear, and the role of fear is to be small. The role of fear is to be limiting. And you guys know this. Every time you continue to do something out of need, it doesn't work. But how do you get out of that pattern of need? It's like, but I need to do this. Right? How do you get out of that pattern? So the first thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is get you to realize, before I go into manifestation and your ego is chopping at it, going, oh, yeah, this is awesome, right? Is just get you to realize when it's your ego manifesting and when it's you manifesting. I mean, just go back into your life and think of a time where you didn't really need something, but it came to you anyway. Go and find something in your memory Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's money. Maybe it's something to do with health. We no longer needed it. Or maybe you even really, really wanted it at some stage. And you no longer needed it. For whatever reason, you just went, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I no longer need this. And identify that time and just see if you can remember what it felt like to not need it, and then go, yeah, but I'll have it. Or I won't have it. You see, this is how you can find out what is true for you. Most people, when I talk about at the WTF, do what's true for you, they still don't know what's true for them, because they go, this is what I need, and then the ego goes, this is what's true for me. You see? Or they will feel what's true for them, all right? But then they go, I need money in order for me to do this, or I need money in order for me to sustain this, or whatever it is. If it's not money, it'll be something else. So then they begin to do what's true for them, but then what's fueling what's true for them is no longer the heart, it's the agenda. Well, we need to make money. Money part is important. Can you see? No, just do what's true for you. Yes, the money part's important, but that's not your problem. It's not your issue. There's a part of you that's manifesting, and you don't have to have your awareness of how that part's manifesting. It's not your issue to manifest the tides going in and out right now. It's not your issue to make sure that the earth is turning at the right angle, at the right speed right now. It's not your issue to make sure that the galaxy and all the other galaxies are in the right position, and the stars are being born, and the stars some stars are dying. It's not. There's another part of you that's doing that. It's not your issue to ensure that the person next to you's heartbeat is still beating. But there's a part of you that's manifesting all that. You don't need to worry about that part. You need to, well, not worry, you don't need to worry about anything, but you need to place your attention on that feeling of what's true for you, that feeling that is come out of just this one little part of you. That's all you need to place your attention on. Just bring the feeling out. And bringing the feeling out means doing what's true for you. But you can only start to become clear of what's true for you when you understand, then you put aside the need. Because, like I said, the ego is very intelligent, and then it will go, I need this, and then it will go, no, I want to do it just, and then your ego will go, no, I've got to do what's true for me. Oh, this is true for me. But it's not. You attach your need to what's true for you. You know when it's true for you because there's a sense of freedom when you begin to follow what's true for you. It doesn't become a future thing. You don't know where it's going, but you feel certainty in where you are. When you're in that space, you don't know where that space is going. It is all unknown. It's nothing. You're in the empty space. It's a nothingness. You don't even know why you're there. You don't even know where it's going. But there's a sense of certainty. There's a sense of safeness in that certainty. It's like death. When people have death, right? When they're beginning to die, when they're still holding onto the body, they freak out. But you can see some people who are just beginning to see or connect to that space, and then they're okay. They're like, I'm ready to go. Because they're beginning to sense the space that they're falling into. All you're going is back into that space. When I begin to describe the process of manifestation, which is just moving energy from formless to physical form, that's all you're doing. You're connecting to that space where nothing matters, where it's just infinite, and from that space you are moving energy through your imagination and seeing it into form. I'll describe it in a moment. But that's really important to keep practicing. Throughout this month, just keep practicing connecting to that space. It's just one breath away. If you can't connect it to that space one or a few breaths away, please go and practice that meditation. The Oneness meditation. If you need guidance, get a copy of the CD. Or watch it on WTF. Watch it on at amirzoghi.com on the WTF. Practice it. The more you can connect to that space, that's like when I always talk about it in the WTF, I say it's just one breath away. You'll get to a moment where it's just like one breath away. See, I'm just there. Before I go up on stage, it's just like, sometimes it might have to do 3 or 4 breaths because I may have a positive or negative charge lingering around. So and I'm not feeling it yet. So then again I go, and you can just feel it. You can feel just the whole tingling of your whole body, and then bring that space with you into form. In other words, continue to feel the space. Why this is important is because when you're manifesting, the idea is to stay with the space that comes into form. In other words, I said to you before, you got to go will. You got to first feel the energy. Yes, the energy gets fueled. Okay, the energy builds up. In other words, you're feeling what's true for you. What's feeling true for you is just infinite energy rising up. Okay, then your will is to go and reach into that energy and bring it out. Right? But what's going to stop that, we said, is your head. What's going to limit that or change it into limitation is the thoughts that come after what you've willed. So you will it and then you think about something. Once you've really mastered it, then what you're doing is you are, as this feeling rises up and as this feeling comes out, you continue to give space to the feeling. This is when you don't get attached to your intention. Now when I say intention, don't go woo-woo into me. Intention, some people go, oh, I'm making an intention. You know, they don't want to use the word goal now. They're going, oh, I'm making an intention. An intention is not made up here. Okay? An intention is when you have a feeling of what's true for you rising within you, and the feeling rises up and connects to your mind, and they connect as one. That's an intention. So in other words, you are saying yes to the decision that has already been made. Whether that decision is yes or no, you are saying yes. So the feeling arises within you. You check in with the feeling to see or to realize the decision that is already made. Then you are saying yes to follow this decision, to follow the feeling that has already been made. That's an intention. So it's not intention. People go up here and go, I'm making an intention. And they think about what they need, what they want, not what they love. Okay? It's basically, it's an ego thing. Okay? That's when it becomes woo. This is really living. So the intention is found you, or the feeling has found you. You've said yes to the feeling. Those two connecting, there you have it. You have an intention. Now, the moment you said yes, so we've spoken up to that point, then it is about nurturing this feeling. It's like you are giving birth to something. When you give birth to a baby, you got to nurture it. So this feeling is energy. It's all it is. It's all it is. That feeling is energy that you are sensing. How are you sensing? You're sensing it through your sixth sense, not through your 5 human senses. You're sensing it through your being sense. Yeah, human being, 5 human senses is what we see, smell, taste, hear, and physically touch. 6th sense is what we sense. The same thing that you're sensing right now in the palm of your hands. When you go and connect to all the space, you're sensing the space. You're sensing that infinite energy where nothing matters. So you begin to sense this energy, which you describe as a feeling, which it feels like it's on the move. It's on the move because it is building up inside of you to come out so you can give birth to it. Okay? You want to nourish this feeling that wants to come out. You want to protect it, if you like, just like a child. You want to protect it from what? From here. Okay? So you then give it space. If you give space to something, what happens to it? It expands. So you just give it space. Now, what does giving space to something mean? It means to allow something. We spoke about this in past months. It is to allow, to give space to something. It is allowing it to be. What else happens when you give space to something? When you're allowing something to be? We've spoken about this in past months when we talked about reclaiming power. And when we said when you want to reclaim power, you give space to something. Because when you give space to the charge, what happens when you give space to the charge? You are allowing it to be. You're not trying to get rid of it. And what happens when you allow it to be? Why does it neutralize? Because you become one with it. A charge cannot exist. A charge only exists because you're in duality, positive or negative. So when you become one with it, it can no longer exist. It becomes love. This is the same thing. You are giving space to this feeling. Nurture it as it comes out. Okay? You can feel the feeling coming up. It's very, I'm just talking about it as though it's physical, right? But it's a feeling that you can sense and it goes through you. You want to give space to that feeling. What does that allow you to do? When you give space to the feeling, you are allowing the feeling to be. So that means you're not trying to control how it comes to form, are you? Remember, a lot of people, we spoke about your manifestation, then you think, oh, this is the way it should manifest. Well, money should come in. Well, my husband should love me. Or this should, you think, well, this is the way it's meant. Remember, there's no control. So you allow it to be. So you're allowing the space, or you're giving it space. You're giving the energy the space, and you're allowing it to be. What happens? You got to be really present to feel what I'm saying. What happens? Yes, it grows or expands. But something more powerful happens. I just described it to you in neutralizing a charge. Boom! This is the big group. You become one with it. Do you understand the power of that? You no longer need to attain it. It is when you become one with it that it becomes, you allow it to manifest itself into form. So you got to keep giving it space. So when I say to myself, I love to do this, and I begin to follow the feeling, all right, I just nourish the feeling. I just keep giving it space. I don't look into the story. First of all, we spoke about this. I don't check in with the story. I make the decision based on the feeling. I will the feeling to come out. I give space to the feeling. As I give space to the feeling, it allows me to become one with it. Do you understand the power of this? When you are one with it, that means in this present moment, you already feel as though it's done. That's when it manifests itself into physical form. You are doing this unconsciously. By the way, this is not law of attraction, right? You may see this, you may see an image of this flash through your imagination, but you're not imagining it. It's using your imagination for you to see it. Can you see? When you do the law of attraction and you try to visualize something, that's you as the drop trying to imagine it. Have you ever noticed you were just sitting somewhere and suddenly you had a vision? Your imagination was used as a screen for the vision to be projected on. The vision came to you. You didn't sit here and try to have a vision of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Put your hand up if you understand what I'm saying. Otherwise I have to repeat myself. Okay, great. It's different from letting your imagination, just like the planning, letting the plan unfold through you, letting the feeling move through you, versus you trying to use the feeling. versus you trying to imagine it. You see?
So really we should just let it be.
Yes, but if you can grasp what's going on, you can use it. The thing is, when you can use it intentionally. The thing is, when you don't know how this is taking place, like,
You mean you can become more aware of it?
as you become more aware of the process, I won't call it hell, the process.
Comes to you,
What's that?
you can't, like if a vision comes to you, you can't force that to happen.
No, the vision comes to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. So this,
So how can you get better at it?
by continuing to practice what I'm talking about, by giving the feeling space. All I'm saying to you, I'm going back to my own experiences. When I'm giving it space, sometimes a vision comes to me, or I start to see myself in America. I'm just using America, I don't know why today. Okay? Or I start to see myself in America. I start to see people in my events. I start to see it, right? And I just want to let you know that that's not your ego. That's the feeling projecting itself. See, the feeling as a human, as a solid, all right? The feeling, you're sensing it in your body. The truth is, it's everywhere, but you can't say, oh, I'm sensing the energy here, right? So you're sensing it here, and then also the feeling, because you can't see it with your human eyes, it will project itself not only through your sensation, so you can feel it, but also through your imagination, so you can see it. Can you see? But then if someone hears what I'm talking about, then they will go write a book about it and call it the law of attraction, for example. This is what you got to do. You need to see it. You need to feel it.
So it's like when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
I have visions and I just start writing.
Yes.
I'm inspired,
Yeah.
but I can't recreate that.
That's right.
I can't fake that.
No, you can't.
Then you give
Absolutely.
space to that and that will manifest.
Yes, but you can now start to give space to that and intentionally connect. Like just like now, I intentionally choose to connect. When I go up on stage, I feel the space, just like, and when I get up there, I have a wheel, like I'm on there. Now I am willing the information out. I'm reaching in, and right now I'm doing this. I'm reaching in and I have no idea what I'm going to say. If I planned what to say, it's no longer coming to me in the moment. I can't will it. I can only will it from here. And that's the human will. Human will's weak, is limited. This is the divine will, if you like. Very, very different. But you can see how these kind of ideas, these concepts have come, these human concepts like the law of attraction or, be positive or visualization. These have come because people have experienced these, and then someone has maybe one day spoken about it, and then someone will write, let me just finish one sec, sorry. Someone will then write a book about the doing process, but I'm just describing the being process. So then the ego will go, because the ego looks for the doing, and goes and tries to apply that. Step 1, close your eyes. Step 2, visualize what you want. Step 3, feel it. See, it's not that this stuff is wrong, it's just, they're just describing it to the ego. Sorry, go ahead.
And for the 5% of people who it works for,
Yeah.
that's not what they're actually doing. They're actually doing as you're describing.
That's right. But they don't even know. They don't know. You know how I know they don't know? Because they still don't know who they are.
Yeah, so
And you know how I know that? Because when in the words, they're describing duality. You just listen to the words. You listen to the speakers on stage. You listen to them you listen to the law of attraction. They were going, what do you want to have? What do you want to do? It's all in the words. Okay? The moment the words are coming through duality, you know their understandings of duality. So even if they are using it, okay, it's only randomly. I promise you. It's not always working. And I know a lot of those people. A lot of the areas of the life is not working. It's just randomly because they still don't know who they are. Now they know they're part of this universe and they go, you need to put it out into the universe. But they still don't know they're the universe. They still think they're the drop that's amongst the ocean. They don't know they're the ocean moving the drop. To know that's the journey. That's what you guys, the path you're taking on. That's the journey to have a direct an experience of that, to have a knowing of that in your heart. Not to know that here, because to know that up here is just knowledge. To know it here is wisdom. Knowledge is not power, wisdom is. Did you say something?
No.
Hey? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got diverted with the law of attraction, but I just wanted to show you how some of those things branch out, where they come from. It's not that it's not true, it is. But these things, just like I say, love finds you. You don't find, creativity finds you. Ideas find you. Ideas come to you. You don't find them. You just take claim that you came up with the idea. Oh, look at the idea I came up with. No, it found you. The real you came from you. So, the importance of nourishing this feeling, which is giving space to this feeling, which means you are not attached to how the feeling manifests itself into form. You're detached. You're not trying to control how this happens. You're not trying to make it happen. You're trying to let it happen. You are trying to allow it to happen. You remember WTF, the golf swing? You can't make that ball go in. You got to let it. You got to allow it. So giving space is allowing the energy to be what it is, allowing the charge to be what it is. But in this case, we're talking about infinite energy. So you are allowing the energy to be. Like you can see, you've made a choice to follow the decision that's already made. Then you are just giving that feeling that you're feeling within you space, space, space. And as you start to see the manifestation, because it begins to manifest, this is the tricky part. The moment you start to see it manifest, oh my God, this is working. Guess who kicks in? Guess who says, oh my God, this is working? Ego. And it goes, I'll take over from here. You get into the flow, you fall back out. You're like, oh. Yeah. It takes over. We give birth to a child. I mean, the magnificent thing is you held the child. We, not the women. They held the baby. They feed it. It's all happening automatically. The child is getting looked after, getting nourished, getting, all the things that it is. It's all happening automatically. They're not doing a thing, right? But once the birth happens and once the baby comes into the world, we'll take over from here. I know better for this child. Can you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So, the final point that I want to make before we rush around in this room and take a corner somewhere and practice this, and then we'll come back and have a conversation. The final point I want to make is that, I've already made it, but I just want to reiterate it again. That is that when you give space to this feeling, when you're giving space to it, A, you're allowing it to be. You're not trying to control how it forms. It's going to form, but you're not trying to control how it forms. The child, when you're pregnant, it's going to form, but you're not trying to control how it's going to form. Oh my God, grow a penis, grow a penis, grow a penis. You're not trying to control how it forms, right? You let go.
We were talking about that at lunch, actually.
What, growing a penis?
About an unborn baby.
Yeah.
And birth mother, and there you have complete surrender, and you're not wondering when the nails are growing and this and that. It's just complete surrender, knowing that it will happen.
Exactly. Good on ya. Exactly. Very good conversation you guys are having. That's spot on. So the final thing is that, like I said, when you allow something to be, just like we talked about in the past months, there's a charge, you allow it to be. When you allow it to be, you notice yourself form into it and be one with it. That's when the manifestation happens. So when you allow this energy to be, as you see it begin to manifest into form, you'll start to see signposts. Oh, the money is coming together. Oh, the people are coming together. Oh, the circumstances are coming together. Oh my God, I'm getting phone calls about it. It starts to happen. Just keep giving it space. This is the biggest thing in my team at Be Free the guys struggle with. The moment it starts to happen, they're like, oh my God,
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's very difficult because you just feel the excitement, and The only part of you that gets excited is the ego, because it's almost like, because the ego doesn't believe this works, and then it's like, no, this stuff doesn't work, this doesn't, and then it starts to work. It's holy shit, this starts to work. It goes, I'll take over. But you see, the whole you, the one, doesn't get excited because it's natural. It's like, what are you getting excited about? What did you think? It's not going to work? Like, of course, you're doing this every day. You are manifesting right now this conversation. When you become one with it, you will get the feeling that it's done. But don't look for the feeling it's done. But you'll just start to get, and you'll start to see signs in the physical. You'll start to see the physical, your story, all right, will start to change. And then your feeling will also then go, oh my God, this is actually happening. Just keep giving it space, because a lot of people then jump on and try to jump into the story and take over, and they stop the manifestation. So it's half manifested. And then they take over, and then they go, okay, I need to plan now. You know, how many times, I mean, I've done this plenty of times, being in business. A lot of times when I would just start something, it would happen organically. You know, I just did it. And the moment I did it and all this stuff happened, then I was like, all right, guys, well, let's get serious about this now. All right, let's make some goals. Let's make some plans. Let's take this to the next level. How many times do you think I've done that? And then the whole thing crumbles. I was like, what the fuck? I got serious about it. How many times have you guys done that in your life? Okay, and it was just happening.
And it's so counterintuitive to the ego to let it happen.
Yes.
It's so easy to get excited and then lose control.
Yeah. Absolutely. So the final thing is that when you do become one with it, it's here in the moment. You see, when you want to change the story, you are looking to change the story. You go to the future. You're going, this is my story right now. Listen very carefully. This is one of the most powerful parts. This is my story right now. I want to change it, and I want the future to be like this. Duality. Two. You see that? What I just talked about, you keep giving it space, keep giving it space. When I said you become one with it, you feel the very thing that's true for you here. It's this moment. That's why you feel like this is done. It feels done. And you start to see signs of it in the story. You will. And sometimes you may not see signs in it, and you've got to really trust the feeling. But many times I see the signs all the time. The signs come out. But sometimes the signs in the story are not there for whatever reason. It's happened before, where the story's still, there's no signs. It's like, oh my God, nothing's happening. Like, but I go to the feeling, and the feeling's like, no, it's done. And I'm like, no, it's done. And then a week later, all this stuff happens in the story. It happens instantly.
That happened to me, yeah.
Yeah? Let me just finish this, and then I'm going to open up because it's coming through. It happens instantly. It's not a delayed gratification because you're seeing it now. When you start to see it in the future, you keep creating it in the future. You come to the next, it's always in the future. Oh, one day I'll have this, one day I'll have this, one day I'll have this. And it's a little tease, you know? It's just getting a little teased. So that is the final one. It is, you're bringing your manifestation here. Like, you're so in the present moment. And that's when I describe it, the WTF, everything that ever is manifested, everything that ever will be manifested, everything that is manifesting is all in one moment. In that moment, you feel one with it. You're not in duality anymore. That's when the feeling begins to blossom into form. And you will see signs of it immediately. Sometimes you'll see signposts that will go boom, boom. And you're like, oh, you know, I'm sure you'll experience that. But sometimes you just see, boom, the circumstances change. You know, a job gets open straight. Like the girl I was talking to you about who moved to Brisbane. It happens instantly. And it happens effortlessly. It's just like, you just see the story go, and you're like, no way. Like, it's just, and it happens through you. And this is not a surrendering thing. You know, you see what I mean? You got to will it. The will's got to be there. People go, this is what I love. And they think, just because they do what they love to do, now they deserve to be successful. No. You got to go reach deep and take that love and bring it out. Otherwise, you're just doing what you love to do because you don't have the courage yet to reach deep. You know, I could just get up on stage and speak about this and, you know, and then go, well, I love speaking. Then I'm doing the speaking. When I be it, I got to go and reach deep inside of me and speak from my heart. Speak my heart that speaks a feeling, and I just start. And then it just drops in. I'm sure you guys feel that when you, whether it's here or at different programs, you just feel it. And it's the same thing. Whatever it is that's true for you, if you can't do it, if you can't reach from there, like I have a team in America. I was speaking to one of my members, one of the team members in America, and she's like joined the team, and she's just been doing what she loves to do. And Jamie's part of the team in America. He flies once a month to America as well. And Jamie gets like double the results of this girl. And they both have the same amount of clients that get allocated to him, all this kind of stuff. Jamie's got all these clients that he's giving coaching sessions to. She's got none. And I sat her down. I said, just because you do what you love to do doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Otherwise, everyone will go and just do what they love to do. No, you got to be what you love. Not just do it, you got to be it. You got to reach inside. You got to will it. So that is manifestation. Now, if you wanted to put into step 1 and step 2 and step 3, and it doesn't work, what you need to do now is go and ponder on what's been shared. Go and ponder and reflect what's been shared to your own story, to your own life, to whatever feels true for you. Because this is exactly what I would do. I would sit down in front of my mother and she would tell me stories, and I would pick it up by picking up a feeling. All right? And then I would take that and I would sit and I would ponder. And I would give space to the feeling that I picked up when she was speaking. You guys have just picked up a feeling. The feeling that's always been there, it just got moved. It just went. You need to now ponder and go, well, what is manifestation? But remember the first thing. How the ego manifests and how the one manifests. Remember that. Do you remember what the difference was? Need, no need. It doesn't need to manifest it. It doesn't need to change anything. The part of you that needs the manifestation can't have it. All it manifests is the need. It may manifest in the story and thinks, I need money, I need to make $10,000 a month. It may manifest it. It may be very powerful ego, you know, goes and manifests. But then it manifests with that $10,000, the feeling that they get is more need. I need $20,000. I need $50,000. I need $100,000. Some people keep going until they're like 70, 80, 90, and they're on their deathbed, and they're like, and then they stop and go, holy shit. I didn't need to do that at all.